Yeah. Now I know you wanna vibe just a little bit. Give me one sign if you feeling it. No, I ain't got time for the middleman. Tell them go home when it's unplanned. Spend a whole night if you really can.
Zimbabweans are the type of people, when you walk on water, they'll say, ah, he's walking on water because he can't swim. You see?
This is 15 Minutes with Simba. Today we're at the Balcony Studio where we're talking to ASAPH, the man. Yo, my nigga. You good? Oh yeah, and found this. Belongs to Muse, the producer. I'm gonna have fun with this today. So my guy,
What up?
what's been happening?
Man, as you can see, we're in studio. It's the new year coming, so people are just trying to get into the zone of recording, get into the zone of really planning what's gonna happen. You know, as artists, sometimes January is our rest month because we've been performing, December, we've been activities and everything. But now that we're in February, now we're releasing what the year has to hold. That's why we're here at the Balcony with Muse, getting into it. This music is gonna be coming out fast.
Were you resting though?
January? Yeah, well, you know, like people, like, especially in Malawi, right? This December, this January, artists were still coming from South Africa. There were still events here and there. So yeah, I was resting. I wasn't the one performing, but I was getting to see Mapurisa came, Mapurisa and Kabza came, you know what I mean? So I was vibing. That's rest for me.
And the dopes?
And
the dopes?
The dopes, that never ends. We be in studio drinking, we be working drinking. That's the benefit of being an artist.
So ASAPH, you're the next big thing out of Zimbabwe.
I'm the big thing.
You're the big thing right now.
Big right now out of Zimbabwe.
I was saying to ASAPH earlier that some cats got me off Zim hip hop for a while, and he's convinced he's gonna get me back into it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends where you left off, Phil. Because what I feel about Zim hip hop or music in general in Zimbabwe, the stories are in little corners and pockets. You know what I mean? Right now we don't know what's happening in Bhutan.
True.
There could be a crazy movement going down, but it's just not reaching Harare, it's not reaching Bulawayo. Because in Zimbabwe we think if it's not in Harare, it's not in Bulawayo, it doesn't exist. You feel what I'm saying? So it depends on which corner you are looking at specifically. Even if you look at hip hop in the world, everyone says, oh, hip hop has been dumbed down, it's now just trap, it's not just what. But there's still a lot of artists who are still giving us that authentic, raw, quote unquote, real hip hop. So it depends, where was your focus?
I'm oldish. I'm a bit of an ancestor. So for me, I'll go back to Choniso.
Wow. So you missed out on a lot.
Apparently quite a bit, but I've been hanging with Dizzy Don.
Yes.
We've had a few. We've had a bit of fun. And his argument is hip hop never ends.
Yeah.
It's a movement, constant.
Yeah. And it constantly changes. It constantly evolves. So sometimes, especially with quote unquote old heads, they get to a point where the genre evolves to a point where they feel it's not real, or they can't really recognize it anymore. But it's still hip hop, man. The kids are still carrying it on. Bars are being dropped, ciphers are being done, freestyles are being done. Like, was it November? Indigo Saint from the City of Kings. He posted a freestyle on his Twitter, on his SoundCloud, his YouTube. It was even got the attention of Sway in the morning.
That's some good stuff.
You know what I mean? So we're getting a step closer. You're gonna see a Zimbabwe really representing him on a Sway in the morning freestyle.
But is there anything called real hip hop or not real hip hop?
Maybe there might not be something called real hip hop. We can say hip hop that's closer to the original. You know what I mean? But even if you look at hip hop itself, hip hop is a genre birthed out of other genres.
Yeah, true.
Birthed out of mixing other genres. If you wanna take it practically, hip hop started as a Jamaican thing. DJ Kool Herc was from Jamaica. Just moved to the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
You see what I'm saying? And what they would do, they'll get these old blues records, find the breaks on the tracks, and rap over that part where there's no vocal. You see what I'm saying? So hip hop started off sampling. You feel what I mean? So even if it was to come to a point in time now where we're trying new styles, the new thing that's trending that I'm seeing right now is drill. You know what I mean? And drill is kind of like a UK thing.
Tell me, what's drill?
Basically it's on the beat.
Can you do something off of drill?
Yeah, I've done stuff on drill. No, it's not the delivery.
Oh, okay.
But okay, yeah, the delivery because of the way the beat changes. You know what I mean? So it'd be something like this. big mumble, I'm the king of the scene, and I just pulled up with the president, and the drip is insane, we killing the game, and we never hiding the evidence, now we blowing up, Hussein, and I'm gonna start charging like 2K, controlling the game like it's 2K, what devs are trapping all the 2K.
Now you're just showing off. So tell me, your new deal, what's happening there?
And this is actually something that started in 2019. So for me, it's not new, but to the world, it's new. So 2019, there was a show that happened here called Without Your Shutdown, and it was in partnership with Universal. So they brought Nadia and Akai, they brought Nasty C, a couple of other artists, Mafiki Zolo, you know what I mean? So because Universal, they really partnered with Def Jam to now have Def Jam app. Then they signed a whole bunch of South African artists, you know what I mean? So I'm like, if we don't count Nadia, I'm the first Zimbabwean artist to be like put onto that roster. So when that whole show was happening, they saw me on it. I started having a few interviews in a little dark room where they say, hey, we're interested in you.
Weren't you scared in the dark room though?
I wasn't scared because God always.
It's a dark room.
Nah, you know what it is. It's just like those things where it's you and two people who's probably an A&R and someone that you know. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, we're interested in having you on board. So that's what's going to happen. And then COVID hits 2020. So it slowed down a bunch of things, but it was still in the pipeline, in the works. So last year, December, managed to go out to Universal Studios at Rosebank, had the meetings, had the photo shoots, did a few sessions with some South African artists. So like things seem to be really going well.
What does Def Jam mean for ASAPH?
For me,
as an artist, as music's friend.
As music brother. it means I'm now on a global platform. I now have a machine behind me that's really gonna make sure they get the most out of me. You know what I mean? And I'm someone. One of my statements when I won my first Bulawayo award, one of the statements I said was I was talking to the corporates, I was talking to Zol, I was talking to all of them. I said I'm ready to work. You know what I mean? So with Def Jam, I told them the same thing. I'm ready to work. So like when I went in December, they had a whole schedule where they say, okay, Monday you're gonna be in the studio with so and so. At this time you're gonna be in the studio with so and so. At this time, so now it's up to me to just nail every task they put in front of me, nail every opportunity, every platform they put in front of me.
Thank God I'm not an artist. That seems like tons of hard work.
Not really, because this is what we live for. This is what we're doing. Like when someone gives you the opportunity you've been building for your whole career, you have to nail it. You know what I mean? There's no time to sleep.
It's not like you're gonna get a second chance anytime soon, is it?
I mean, depending on what you call a second chance. I'm someone who always looks at any opportunity as a stepping stone. You feel me? I was meant to open up for Burna Boy when I was meant to come to Zim. That didn't happen, but that was a stepping stone that put me at a better level. You feel me? And then the MTV Mama nominations. First Zim hip hop artist to be nominated for an MTV Mama, right? And then that got postponed. But still, it was a stepping stone. You know what I mean? Now look where we are. So even if the whole Def Jam thing doesn't go the way I plan or the way the whole country wants it to go, it's still a stepping stone, man.
It's the opportunity.
We're climbing and going forward. You know what I mean?
That was if Def Jam noticed you.
They noticed.
Everyone else will eventually.
You know what I mean? So I'm happy.
Eventually. But how has Zimbabwe responded or reacted to the news, you and Def Jam mixing it up?
It's been mixed reactions. You know what I mean? Because honestly, and I'll just put it out there, I feel like there's a big divide in the country in entertainment where people would feel or expect that someone chosen should have been from somewhere else. Someone chosen should have been so and so. You know what I mean? So a couple of people won't really congratulate you, maybe because their heart is a bit sore.
Because maybe they feel Jema is the man.
You know what I mean? Something like that.
Maybe a couple of bars, I'm Jema, sitting with ASAPH. Music's in the corner. Maybe got a record deal coming sometime soon.
Well, you gotta rhyme, otherwise it sounds like poetry. You know what I mean? You gotta make it rhyme. So that's how it is. There's love in certain pockets. And I'll put it like this: Zimbabweans are people. Seeing is believing.
Doubting Thomases.
Yeah, so they are waiting to see, okay, what are you going to do next? Zimbabweans are the type of people, when you walk on water, they'll say, he's walking on water because he can't swim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's walking on water because he can't swim. Not because he can walk on water.
Yeah, but he's walking on water, man.
Half empty glass, half full glass.
Exactly.
Type, yeah. Alright. I've been talking to a few people before today. ASAPH. Yeah, ASAPH doesn't do Ndebele, ASAPH doesn't do Shona. What's the story with that?
It depends on how you look at it. I feel like hip hop is an expression of who you really are. So in my day to day, I rap how I talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have pockets of words where you can really tell where I'm from. Even when I'm in Harare, my name is Tafaz, I'm sure.
Or are you now?
Tafaz Talukan, I'm sure, right? But when I'm in Harare, when they hear me talk, my mannerisms, and I'm saying ha Bele, or I'm saying what, people are gonna say he's a Ndebele guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
the
Just based off of my mannerisms. You know what I mean? Plus, I believe like music is for communication. Even if music is a universal language, so they'll feel something even if they can't hear me. But imagine if they can hear what I'm saying, and I'm explaining about a story that happened in Bulawayo. Now someone in Canada, someone in France, who hear
whole
and
world,
say, "Oh,
almost.
I hear what he's saying," even if they can't relate to the places, the roads, the buildings I'm talking about, but it's gonna get my story.
I can see a picture in it.
You see what I'm saying, basically. So that's I guess that's why I rap mostly in English.
Alright. I'm gonna be going back to the Def Jam thing a bit.
Yeah.
Apart from the beauty of being with Def Jam,
Yeah.
as an artist, what are you getting out of Def Jam?
What am I getting out of Def
Out
Jam?
of Def Jam.
Like I said earlier.
Def Jam, I think I got it wrong. Def Jam.
Def Jam. Like I said earlier, there's now a whole machine behind me that's making sure I get these placements, whether it's studio, whether it's performances, whether it's interviews, whether it's features, whether it's scores in music. You know what I mean? Also a nice advance. You know what I mean? Also a nice advance.
I didn't want to ask because then maybe you might think the nigga wants something, but there's a bit of an advance there.
Yeah, there is.
Nice.
They have to, man.
It's time for a nigga to get paid though.
Not only that, because there were some previous tracks that I put out that they were really interesting. So we are repackaging those. You never know, Mambo might come out with the collab featuring Nasty C, the remix. Vibe is correct featuring AKA the remix. You never know, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting out of Def Jam. It's really a rocket on my back.
So how much of the collabs that you're gonna get out of Def Jam, or with your relationship that you're building with Def Jam, are they all just African, or are we looking at the global package?
I feel like in any growth story, right? I want it to be gradual. I don't want a thing where boom, I'm already, yo, DJ Khaled, ASAPH, Jay-Z, Beyonce. What am I gonna do next year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me build it. Let me start in South Africa with someone who's probably on the same journey that I'm on. You know what I mean? Then eventually, so that I build.
Kind of grow gradually.
Let me grow with it until I take it to the top. Because I feel like that's how my roots will really come firm. Because hey, if you go up too quick, it's gonna come down even quicker.
Look, I'm an ancestor, I know. I'm old dish, I know. But there's one thing that's a standard in hip hop: beefs. Yours?
I mean, I've been had beefs. I feel like as an artist, you get to a certain point where you realize every beef must be calculated. You know what I mean? Or every beef something must come out at the end of the day. Gone are the days where we're beefing, trying to fight over who owns the corner, who's the best freestyler, whatever. You know what I mean? Worse now, I'm on a label, so I've got more to lose than the average person who wants to throw shots at me. You know what I mean? But obviously, as you grow and you meet different artists, and this is an inside story, you know what I mean? I was at university.
Won't be inside anymore for much longer.
Nah, but I'm not going to reveal too much. I was at Universal Studios, right? And I was having a session with someone, and we were not really gelling. You dig? So now my eyes are just like, okay, I gotta watch. Not that we're enemies or whatever, but there was just a bit of an awkward.
The vibe was a bit off.
There was a bit of an office vibe. So it's one of those things that you can meet someone, and nowadays. But I'm not gonna go and rap about it. I'm not gonna go and now tweeting that person saying, man, screw you, blah, blah, blah. Nah, but behind the scenes you know that, okay, maybe that's an energy to avoid. It's a beef in a way, you know what I mean? Because we're not seeing eye to eye. We would have hoped that we're just friends with everybody, but that's not how life works.
It won't happen, yeah.
That's not how life works. I'm sure even corporates, you know what I mean? Even the president of, so what's his name, by the way?
That guy,
right? Maybe he's got a behind the scenes beef with someone else from somewhere.
I don't like her.
You know what I mean? Something like that. So beef is part of, it's not only is it part of hip hop, it's part of life.
Okay, that's fine. Family?
My family was so happy, man. when my mom got the news, because I have like these ASAPH tees, she wore my t-shirt for like 3 days. Written ASAPH. She was just so proud. She's like, yo, my son is really like doing it. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure from the first days, like from maybe
Hold on. Taonga, is it a khaki envelope if I bong off of him an ASAP t-shirt? Oh. Can I have an ASAP t-shirt, please?
Yeah. They cost like $20. I'm joking.
Nigga, I'm interviewing you. Why am I buying a t-shirt?
You know, you must actually pay for interviews.
Def Jam, please do not do this to us.
Talk to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I was saying, my parents were happy. You know, like when you come into the game and you're really trying to convince your family, like, I want to be a musician. And now we live in a community. So now your parents' family or your parents' friends, they're getting to what your son and stuff, maybe who knows what would have been said to them.
Yeah.
So now they have a chance to say, look, that boy that you doubted, he's actually doing it.
He made it.
You doubting my son, he's actually doing it. You know what I mean? So they were excited. They have bragging rights now.
They own the bragging rights.
They own the bragging rights. You know?
I saw your young sister perform a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
She's got a bit of soul.
Yeah,
Are we going to see?
A lot of soul.
Are we going to see some work with you?
Definitely. And because we've been working together, it's just like you said, she's got soul.
Yeah.
So she's into more like Motown, live band, artistry, music like that. So we don't just collaborate anyhow. It really has to be the one way she feels she fits and I feel it's working, then we make it happen. You know what I mean? So that's just how it is.
Do you have soul?
Do I? A whole lot of soul, man.
Sing.
A whole lot of soul. Sing
Something.
Something.
It's Valentine.
Check. I'm not even something like I'm waking up in the morning, pray for brighter days, and I do it for my family. And you see me crying, me no feed that a day. Me crying, me no feed that a day. I'm waking up in the morning, pray for brighter days. I do it for my family. I'm trying to make a million my guy. Something like that.
I gotta do this. Emoji, you got competition.
Yeah.
You got skills, mate.
Yeah, a little bit.
You've got skills. So we have a lot more to look out for from ASAPH.
Definitely a lot more to look out from. My contract with Def Jam is a nice one, so you're gonna get a couple of projects there, a couple of singles there. If all goes well, the greatest hits project. So we're in this.
How long is the contract?
It's project based.
It's project based. Alright, nice. So I'm getting my tea.
Yeah, you are.
Not paying $20 for it.
Nah, I'm a kind-hearted spirit. I'm a kind-hearted spirit.
So I mean, you're going up.
Yeah.
But like they always say, don't forget where you're coming from.
Definitely.
What are you doing for those that you've left behind? Are they left behind in the first place?
Not even, man. Not even, because that's why we're here at the balcony. Me, Muse, even Thorn. You mentioned Thorn.
My man, DJ Thorn LaRock, shout out, my nigga.
You know what I mean? So we're putting together this movement called Hip Hop Capital, because we believe now is the hip hop capital of Zimbabwe. You know what I mean? Dare I even take it further and say of Southern Africa, because ask Kulichan where he got his inspiration to get into hip hop. Ask Zabs. You know what I mean? And these are South African hip hop icons.
And they made it.
And they made it. You see what I'm saying? So we really believe that Bulawayo has a lot of untapped potential. So when it comes to hip hop, so we've got this movement called Hip Hop Capital, which is basically a movement that wants to facilitate action, facilitate activities, where we hold ciphers, battles, events, we put out projects, merchandise, so that whenever someone comes into the city, every month, every week, there's something to look forward to coming out of the hip hop community.
Something.
You know, there's something, whether it's a battle, whether it's a freestyle, whether it's a record, whether it's an EP, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's an event, hip hop will be buzzing, wire, because of Hip Hop Capital.
I was in RF for a few years, and the time when I was off hip hop.
Yeah.
But I bumped into a few artists down there, and they're convinced that's where everything is.
Yeah.
I'm convinced everything is here too, because I come from here primarily because I'm a Bulawayo boy.
Yeah.
Not had much experience with local hip hop, specifically Bulawayo hip hop, but
Yeah.
the little that I've had, compared to what I've seen, Bulawayo for me is a bit more deep.
Yeah. Let me put it like this, right? Where do all the natural resources in the world come from?
Yeah.
Right. But where do they go? Outside.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Even when they go outside, they can be watered down a bit and made whatever.
Beautified.
Yeah, beautified. But the raw the natural resources come from Bulawayo. A lot of people start out here, then they move, like I'm sure, like in the circles in Harare, you will ask a couple of people, especially like radio presenters, where are you from? Bulawayo. Where are you from? Bulawayo? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Bulawayo is this thing of birthing artists, then they go out and then they are able to find themselves.
The flower when they've left
outside. But now what we're trying to do with Hip Hop Capital is let's grow it here. Let's birth it here. Let's nurture it here. So,
incubate it sort of.
right here, exactly.
Alright. So will Def Jam let you tell us what's coming up next?
I mean, now just look out for singles, especially with some collaborations. I've got 2 collaborations that are lined up. We're trying to really decide which one we're gonna go with first. There's one that I did with a close friend of mine. Well, we met there, but that session now was the vibes
So it
were
was
proper.
dope.
You know what I mean? That session was proper. His name is Loki. So he's under Skanda World, Chaos item, you feel. So we vibed out there, we did a record. That one, I love it. There's another record I've got with 2 other artists as well. One Nigerian, one South African, another Nigerian, and a Zambian lady who also just got signed to Def Jam as well. So right now, that's what I'm looking at, because I like first step. And then the second half of the year, that's when you get an album.
Alright, so you've literally become Pan-African ASAPH.
That's why if you see my Twitter handle, it's ASAPH Africa. You dig?
Yeah.
After that, we're gonna go ASAPH Universal, ASAPH Global.
Sky is the limit if there's a sky.
There is no sky. There is no sky. There is no sky.
Love, my guy. People, was my nigga ASAPH showing us love. Muse, my guy. Producer, the owner of Balcony Studio. We're talking about Def Jam with ASAPH Africa. He's going big. He's gone big. He's big. And now we hope he's gonna make Zimbabwe just as big.
Yeah.
This is 15 Minutes with Simba, now also known as King Jamois.
King.
Can I knight you before we go off? Yes, please. Please can I knight him? Please can I knight him? Kneel.
Alright, there you go.
Mikey, ASAPH. Def Jam, make us the money. My nigga. Please follow, subscribe. This is 15 Minutes with Simba. Thank you very much. Sunday News Live TV. Yo.